Hi everybody, my name is Bree and welcome back to my channel, Bree's Arts. All right, everybody. So for today's video, we're jumping right back into some spring DIYs. Now, you guys know that I am absolutely obsessed with coral this year. So today's video is no exception. And of course, all of these DIYs are made from things from Dollar Tree and from Dollarama. Now, with all of that being said, you guys, let's get into the first DIY. All right, you guys, spring has sprung with DIY number 1. All right, so using one of these decor pieces, I got this at Dollarama. I have used it before in one of my love theme DIYs that I did right before Valentine's Day. I will link that video up in the cards here. And you can see I'm just sanding down all of those letters because they were a little bit raised. And then grabbing one of my foam rollers and some black chalk paint. First, we're going to paint this in black because we want to make sure that we cover up all of that black lettering. And it's literally impossible to do that if you only use the white chalk paint. You'd have to do like a bajillion coats. And so just paint that up with the black chalk paint first. And then I am going to use the same sponge roller, and we're going to use Linen White by Rust-Oleum and do 3 coats of the white chalk paint. So you'll notice like my first coat here, it kind of came out a little bit gray, but that's okay because the more coats you do, obviously, the more white it will become. And you guys, if you don't have a Dollarama, you can easily make this little fence looking decor piece with some large paint sticks that you can get at Walmart. Easy, easy, easy. Now look at these metal flowers, you guys. I got them at Dollar Tree and they're so gorgeous. The colors are so perfect. Look at that coral and that blue together. And I'm just going to use some of this brown twine. I got it at Dollarama. And I wanted to make some better centers for those flowers because I really didn't like the centers. They're kind of painted really messy. So just using some hot glue on a piece of cardstock, I'm just wrapping that around in a circle until I get a circle big enough to go in the center of each one of my flowers. So round and around and around. And then once I get it big enough, I am going to just cut off the excess, glue that down as flush as you can, and then just using my scissors, I'm just going to cut that out on that piece of cardstock. So kind of at an angle so that you don't see any of the white poking through on the bottom there. And then you will see, see how perfect that fits? It's perfect. So I did notice that there was a little bit of hot glue that was kind of, sticking out on the center there. So I just used my heat gun, got rid of it, no problem. And then just hot gluing that down onto my flower, getting rid of all of those hot glue smudges that came out the side. And just like that. So we're going to do that 3 times for each one of these flowers. How pretty! And so now what I am going to do is take some of my E6000 and a little bit of hot glue, and we are just going to adhere these wooden circles that I got at Dollar Tree. And that will give us a little better of a surface area when we adhere these flowers to our sign. So just like that on all three. And of course the E6000 is for the permanent hold. The hot glue is for the immediate hold so that I can keep working because I am way too impatient. And now just using some hot glue and gluing these right to our little sign, and we are all done. Like, how easy is this? And this is not just for spring, you guys. This can be all year round. I am 100% putting this in my veranda. It's so gorgeous. And moving on to DIY number 2. Okay, so using this cute little sign that I got at the Dollar Tree, I am just going to remove the sawtooth hanger from the back there. It just has a couple of screws. They come off no problem. And then I'm using my little scraper tool here just to pry up this home word. It came off like fairly easily. I didn't want to damage the front of this little sign because I wanted to use the front there because it has those cool grooves in it, and I really wanted that for this piece. And you can see here I'm just using my sanding block from Dollar Tree and just sanded off those words. And then taking some of my white chalk paint, I did give this 2 coats, making sure to get into all of those grooves and all along the sides. Now, these rub-ons, you guys, oh my goodness, I hope that you guys have been able to find them. They are stunning. So pretty, kind of, you know, shabby chic a little bit, and very, very springy, just absolutely gorgeous. And the rub-ons from the Dollar Tree are so easy to use. You can see here I'm just using a craft stick and I'm just rubbing that on, and then as you peel it away, if you notice that some of it has not come off onto the wood, then you just lay it back down and you rub it back on, and the whole thing adheres absolutely beautifully. So you can see there I'm just going back and rubbing on what I missed, and that is it. And then just going down into those grooves, making sure that it's nice and pushed in. And then I am going to just grab my sanding block and just sand up the edges just a titch. To bring them out, you know, give it that dimension that we're always looking for. And oh, it's just so pretty. It's so pretty. I love it. And now taking one of these artist palettes from Dollarama, I believe it's 8x10. I think it's 8x10. And using some of my wood tint from Folk Art. This is in the color Walnut. I taped off the sides there because I just wanted to get, you know, the back of the frame using some gloves because this stuff does stain. And I did apply it with a paper towel. And then just going along the edges with a paintbrush, just making sure everything is all covered. And then when that was dry, I just taped up the inside, and just going around with my white chalk paint, I did 2 coats. And, you know, painting that up all the way around the frame. So these cute little barrels, these wooden barrels, you guys, they're from Dollar Tree, and they came in 3 different sizes. This one is the smallest size, so it came 3 to a pack. And then there were 2 other sizes. The medium size came 2 in a pack, and the larger one was just 1 per package. And you can see there, I'm going to make a teeny tiny little kind of like a bud vase on the side of this decor piece here. So just grabbing my white chalk paint, I am going to give that a quick coat. And then what we're going to do is we are going to glue these together. Now the top piece, you'll see here that I did paint like on the inside there because I didn't want to see any of that wood, you know, poking through when we have the flowers inside the little bud vase. And so just using some hot glue on the bottom, adhering those together. And then I do take a little bit more white chalk paint just to kind of blend it together so it doesn't look like two barrels that are hot glued together so that it kind of looks like one cohesive piece. And then taking a little bit of hot glue there, put that onto the frame and then placing that other wood piece onto the back. And then using some of these florals that I got also at the Dollar Tree. You guys, Dollar Tree floral game is on point. It's insane. Such gorgeous florals. Just cutting those down, sticking them into my little vase, and that is it. I love it. All right, everybody, I'm just popping in really quickly to tell you a little story about one of my subscribers. Her name is Barbara, and she has been with me from pretty much the beginning. We started communicating a little bit over Instagram, and I saw a post on her Instagram story that broke my heart. And I want to help in any way possible. Now, what is going on is that she and her husband had some hard times over COVID. They are both suffering from health conditions, and they are potentially losing their home. So I saw on Instagram that there was a GoFundMe page that was started up to help them save their homes. So I will have that GoFundMe page linked down in my description box. And I feel so blessed. And this has been an amazing experience for me. I've met a whole bunch of absolutely wonderful people. And when I see an opportunity to help somebody out, I will grasp onto it with both hands, and hopefully I can make a difference. If any of you are feeling generous or wanting to help someone out in our community, please donate. Even $5, like any little bit will help, and I am just praying for them to reach their goal. Now, with all of that being said, you guys, let's get back into the video. All right, you guys, now jumping into DIY number 3. And like I said, Dollar Tree florals on point. So these colors are absolutely stunning together. The coral and the blue, I cannot get over it. Those blue sunflowers are from the fall, but you can find blue florals pretty much anywhere. And what we're gonna do here, you guys, we are going to make a swag for a wreath. Now, this is my first time doing this, so bear with me. I think it turned out so great. So I am just using some floral tape here to adhere my stems together. The trick with floral tape, you guys, is it feels like it's not very sticky when you unravel it. You just have to pull on it just a little bit, and that releases the glue that's on the floral tape. So you see there, I pulled it a little bit to release the glue, and as you are winding it around your stems, just pull gently. You don't want to pull too hard so that the floral tape rips, but pull gently and that glue will release and they will stick perfectly. I love, love, love this floral tape. It's so, so easy to use. So you can see there I used 3 of those coral roses on each side of this swag. Again, just going around and around and around with the floral tape in the center. And now I'm just using some baby's breath and I, cut it a little bit longer so it was coming off the top there where the roses are. And then again, around and around and around with the floral tape. It's so simple, you guys. I love this. I love how this came out. It's so lovely. And then I am going to use 3 of those sunflowers in that blue color. And I can't get over this color combination. It's so gorgeous. And so just taking those again, make sure they're arranged, go around with a little bit of floral tape, adhere those together. And you will notice, when you're using the floral tape, you guys, your fingers get a little bit sticky, but that's okay. It's crafting. We're crafting. Sticky fingers are part of the job, right? And just adhere that to the center, wrapping it around. And then I will put 1 more of those sunflowers in the middle. I think, yes, and then I put some baby's breath just down at the bottom of where those roses are, using the floral tape and around and around and around. I really, really love how this wreath came out, you guys. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so spring to me. Look at those. It's so spring. And then last one, adhering that to the center, making sure it's nice and arranged. And that is it for our little swag. Okay, so I'm finally using one of these bicycle wheels, you guys. I found them at my Dollar Tree after hunting and searching forever. I did grab 3, but there were a whole bunch there, so I left a ton for everybody else. And you can see there I'm just attaching the swag with some zip ties onto this little bicycle wheel. And just like that. How pretty. I just love it. And now, okay, so this hello is also from Dollar Tree. You guys, these words are so high quality. I literally cannot get over it. It's so pretty. So you can see here, I just lined that up. I put the center of the E over the center of the wheel so that we could kind of disguise that. And you can see here, I'm using a sawtooth hanger, and this is how we're going to adhere the hello word, because it's quite heavy, right? So just screwing on the sawtooth hanger around one of the spokes of the wheel, and then I'm going to grab my little hammer and we are going to just hammer that down in place so that it does not move at all, and it's totally secure. Perfect. And then, it's not permanently adhered, so you can totally use this next time, right? But that's it, you guys. How easy is that? And it's so, so cute. All right, everybody, last one, DIY number 4. Okay, so we are using these wooden squares that I got at Michael's. They're 5x5 in size, and I'm just going to paint the tops. I'm not going to paint the sides. just the one side of them with my white chalk paint here. And I only did one coat of this as well. It covered really, really well with just one coat of the chalk paint. And so now I cut these stencils out on my Cricut. This one obviously says Bloom. The font that I used is called American Typewriter. And I did have to, like you can see they're not completely straight. I detached all of my letters and kind of, finagled them around so that they didn't look perfect. And so just putting those on there and using some Mod Podge to go over the stencil so that you don't get any bleeds. I love this trick, you guys. It is freaking brilliant. No bleeds whatsoever. And I know that you can also use the original color, like you can go over this with white as well. I just like the Mod Podge trick. And using my heat gun, just giving that a quick blast so that it dries really quickly because, again, impatient. And then I just grabbed my dabby brush and am dabbing on the stencil with my black chalk paint here. And now for the weeding, here we go for your viewing pleasure. I just love how amazing this comes out, you guys. It's absolutely perfect. And I did pull very, very gently. I didn't want to pull any of the paint up. And I do find that when you use the Mod Podge, it does definitely stick the stencil down a little bit like more. So you have to make sure that you're careful. And now these burlap ribbon pieces, I think I got those at Dollarama as well. And so I'm just taking those, clipping it across, and then going to adhere with some hot glue on the back just to wrap it around. And making sure that it's nice and straight, using my finger protector, not on my finger apparently. Now it's on my finger. And just making sure that that's pulled nice and tight and adhered to the back there. And now using some of this lace ribbon, this is from Dollarama as well. You can get something very similar though at Dollar Tree. And just going to do the same thing, wrap it around the back, adhere it with some hot glue, and then do that to the other side as well, making sure that it's nice and straight. And we'll do that to both of these little squares here. Now, I just want to let you guys know too that this project was actually inspired by a photo that I saw on Pinterest. So the one that I saw was done in black, but I wanted to do mine with white. And so here I'm just using some of those like silver pearls, like they're stickers, and just cutting off a couple of those and going across underneath the white lace ribbon there, just to give it, a little bling, not too much. You can use the white pearls if you want to. You can use the gemstones if you want to. You can zhuzh this thing up as much as your heart desires. And now we are taking the flowers that I didn't use on the swag, and we are going to put those onto these little signs here. So just, I took them completely apart, took the centers out as well, and I'm just hot gluing those down onto each one of these little blocks here. And taking some of these little white flowers too, I wanted to do something in the center. So I pulled out all of the centers there, and then just using a thumbtack from Dollar Tree, making those the centers of my flowers. And so here I was like, it needs just a little bit a little different pop of color. So I'm just cutting down some of the leaves from the floral there and just adhering those with a little bit of hot glue, just, make it a little bit more natural. And I'm gonna do that to both of these here. So just cutting those leaves down and hot gluing them on. Just like that. Aren't they so pretty? They're so pretty. And the final step in these beautiful little pieces here, I'm just going to grab a couple of the tumbling tower blocks just so that they have a little bit more stability when they're set up on the shelf. And that is it, you guys. These are all done. You can also cover the back if you want to. I didn't feel the need. I think they're perfect. Look at that. So pretty. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. I cannot get over how absolutely stunning that bloom and grow decor came out. It's so pretty. Make sure you tell me down in the comments which one of these was your favorite. It's hard for me to choose. Like, they all came out so gorgeous. Let me know what you guys think. And don't forget, I will have down in my description box the GoFundMe link for Barbara and her family. Any little bit will help you guys, even if it's just $1, because $1 from each person could mean so much to this family in need. And of course, if you like what you see, do me a solid. Tap that like button, maybe subscribe, tell your friends, all of that jazz. Stay tuned for the gag reel. Bye, guys. Oh, my boob is showing. Oh, no. There we go. Isn't this a pretty pendant? It is not real, but it is my most prized possession because I got this from my grandpa probably 12 years ago, and he just passed away a few years ago. So this is so incredibly precious to me. It's from Avon. Is this working? Yeah. Let's get into the first DIY. Wow. Look at the freaking volume today. Insane. I should start again. Spring DIYs. Oh, man. Need some fuel. All right, everybody. So for today's video, we're doing some springtime. Oh, man. I need some sun. Holy schmoly. It's been the longest winter, you guys. Oh. I am ready for flip-flops. I will tell you. Oh, my goodness. Let's get this summer show on the road. We can skip spring. Skip it. Completely skip it. After this winter, we better have a good summer, or I'm going to have a huge bone to pick with Mother Nature. I'm a mother too. I'll take you home.